Previous.
Hello and welcome. My name is Afar Iqbal and you are watching the Mojo Story. A big breaking news. Indian Army has conducted strikes across the LOC in POK. Now, there is a statement that's been released by the Army which says that, if I may read that statement, the statement says that uh, India has launched Operation Sindoor, a precise and restrained response to the barbaric Pahalgam terror attack that claimed 26 lives, including one Nepali citizen. Focus strikes were carried out on nine terrorist infrastructure sites in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, targeting the routes of cross-border planning, terror planning. Importantly, no Pakistani military facilities were hit, reflecting India's calibrated and non-escalatory approach. The operation underscores India's resolve to hold perpetrators accountable while avoiding unnecessary provocation. A detailed briefing on the operation will follow later today. So, this is the statement that has been released by the government of India. Now, it's very important to understand that this uh, Pahalgam terror attack took place on April 22, and the surgical strikes have been launched uh, today after so many days. Now, it does not explain that what was the nature of those strikes, but it says that there was a precise and restrained response that was carried out, and nine terrorist infrastructure sites in POK and Pakistan were carried out. So it has been a simultaneous strike on nine targets inside POK and Pakistan. Now, how was the surgical strike done? What was the mode of strike that was used? That has not been explained, whether it was a missile strike or it was some other method that was employed to strike at the terror infrastructure across POK. That has not been explained. But we're getting details that strikes have been carried out at Kotli, at Ahmedpur, at Sharkia, at Muzaffarabad, Muridke, and Faisalabad. Now, these are some of the areas where the strikes have been carried out. Remember, India has been saying that terror infrastructure is intact across the POK. There are terrorist launch pads on the line of control, and clearly these strikes have been conducted on those terror strikes. Now, terror launch pads. Now, in the past, when the Uri terrorist attack took place in 2016, there was a surgical strike carried out. The Indian Army entered across the POK and carried out those strikes on the terrorist launch pads. And after the Pulwama terror attack in 2016, aerial strikes were carried out in Balakot. Now, at that time, when the strikes were carried out in Balakot, what happened? It was the Pakistani uh, ISPR, the wing of their army, that released photos and details of that surgical strike in Balakot. But this time, the the details have been given out by India itself. It says that, I repeat, India has launched Operation Sindoor. The name of this operation has been given Operation Sindoor, a precise and restrained response to the barbaric Pahalgam terror attack that claimed 26 lives, including one Nepali citizen. Focus strikes were carried out on nine terror infrastructure sites in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, targeting the routes of cross border terror planning. Importantly, no Pakistani military facilities were hit, reflecting India's calibrated and non escalatory approach. Now, this operation underscores India's resolve to hold perpetrators accountable while avoiding unnecessary provocation. A detailed briefing on the operation will follow later today. Now, remember, this statement has come during the night, and of course, that we are expecting a full sort of a statement that will be released later in the day, in the morning. We're expecting a statement that will be released. Now, in the last few days, there have been ceasefire violations that have been happening repeatedly at the line of control in different sectors, in Uri sector, in Akhnur sector, in Poonch, and in other sectors on the line of control. Those ceasefire violations were carried out by using small arms by Pakistan. There was no mobilization of troops done on the Indian side. However, those ceasefire violations continued. But today, of course, Indian army, Indian military has struck across the LOC and carried out those surgical strikes, hitting out at the terror infrastructure. Now, what is important that these are multiple strikes that are carried out by India. We're told that Cabinet Committee on Security is meeting at 11 a.m. Uh, and then and then and then the, and then there will be further details that will be given out. Now, what we have been told is that now, for the first time, Indian Army has given more details about the ceasefire violation. It says that Pakistan again violates the ceasefire agreement by firing artillery in Bimbar Gali in Poonch. Indian Army is responding appropriately in calibrated manner. Now, Pakistani army has been using artillery. Now, artillery has been used first time since the ceasefire agreement in that was started in November 2023. The ceasefire agreement between India and Pakistan. That ceasefire was renewed in 2021. Since then, there have been many ceasefire violations, particularly over the last few days. In those ceasefire violations, only small arms were used, but Indian Army is now confirming that Pakistan has violated the ceasefire, and this time around, they use artillery. And this has happened in the Bimbargali area in Poonch and Rajouri district, BG sector, it is called. That is where this has happened. Now, but now we want to again give the details that there has been a Pahalgam attack took place on April 22, and today on May 7, Indian Army has responded by carrying out a series of surgical strikes on the terror infrastructure across POK. Now, I again want to go out and read out the statement that's been issued by India. It says that India has launched Operation Sindoor, a precise and restrained response to the barbaric Pahalgam terror attack that claimed 26 lives, including one Nepali citizen. Focus strikes were carried out on 9 terrorist infrastructure sites in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, targeting the roots of cross border terror planning. Importantly, no Pakistani military facilities were hit, reflecting India's calibrated and non escalatory approach. The operation underscores India's resolve to hold perpetrators accountable while avoiding unnecessary provocation. Now, Indian Army trying to clarify that no Pakistani military installations have been hit in this attack, and it is just the terror infrastructure that has been that has been targeted in those attacks. in those attacks. It's just the terror infrastructure that has been targeted. Of course, we'll have to get more uh, details about the situation that is developing here. Now uh, we'll also have to uh, wait for a Pakistani response. Now that we know that when Balakot strike was carried out, Pakistan did Pakistan did respond, and that response was, of course, in the shape of an aerial attack by Pakistan. Although that caused no harm, and in that aerial engagement, one of Pakistani fighter jets was shot down, and they also brought down one Indian jet, a MiG, in which Abhinandan, the Indian wing commander, was captured by the Pakistanis. So clearly, this time around, of course, will there be an escalation? Will Pakistan respond? How will Pakistan respond? That's the big question. Indian Army trying to make it clear that, of course, this was just an attack the on the uh, Pakistani uh, terror bases. Now, Rajnath Singh has come up with a statement. Rajnath Singh has tweeted Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Uh, that is the statement. That's the statement by Rajnath Singh. So, so, so that is the detail. Uh, so that is the details. I want to once again give the details of this action that's been carried out by India. The action that has been carried out by India is that, of course, of course, those are the details. Those are the details that have come. Now you can see on that screen, those are the naval exercises that were conducted by the Navy a few days ago. There have been Indian Air Force has also been doing those drills, and of course, Indian Navy also conducting those exercises. And today, of course, of course, today there were mock drills uh, that have been scheduled, mock drills across in the districts across country. But you can see on that screen, those were the Indian Navy exercises that were held days ago. So I want to once again I want to once again uh, read out the details that Indian Army has tweeted that justice is served. Jai Hind. That is Indian Army's tweet. But I want to uh, go back to the. You can see on that screen that is the Indian Army's tweet. Justice is served. Operation Sindoor. That is Indian Army's tweet. Jai Hind. Justice has been served. Now, again, I would want to read out the whole statement by India. India has launched India has launched Operation Sindoor, a precise and restrained response to the barbaric Pahalgam terror attack that claimed 26 lives, including one Nepalese citizen. Focus strikes were carried out on 9 terrorist infrastructure sites in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, targeting the roots of cross border terror planning. Importantly, No Pakistani military facilities were hit, reflecting India's calibrated and non escalatory approach. This operation underscores India's resolve to hold perpetrators accountable while avoiding unnecessary provocation. A detailed briefing on the operation will follow later today. Now, uh, now we can see those details. We can also uh, show some of the visuals of the LOC. There are visuals from the line of control. If we can play them here, you can see on your screen visuals from the line of control as Indian Army forces launched Operation Sindoor, hitting terror infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied. These are the latest visuals that we're getting from the line of control in Poonch. Right. So you heard those sounds. Of course, we are also getting reports that artillery has been used by Pakistan as ceasefire violations have started in some sectors in Poonch. Now, those are visuals from the line of control. The latest visuals that we are getting, that army has launched uh, Operation Sindoor, hitting terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Now, those are the latest visuals at the line of control. You can see that there is firing going on. There have been ceasefire violations over the last few days. Uh, so that is the situation. Uh, that's the situation at the line of control. That's the situation there. Uh, that's the situation there. So this is the breaking news that we are bringing to you. So again, I want to read out the statement that's been put out by India. It says that a little while ago. Now, this statement has been released at 1:44 a.m. So that means less than 2 hours ago. It says that a little while ago, the Indian Armed Forces launched Operation Sindoor, hitting terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, from where terrorist attacks against India have been planned and directed. Altogether, 9 sites have been targeted. Our actions have been focused, measured, and non escalatory in nature. No Pakistan military facility have been targeted. India has demonstrated considerable restraint in selection of targets and method of execution. These steps come in the wake of the barbaric Pahalgam terrorist attack, in which 25 Indians and one Nepali citizen were murdered. We are living up to the commitment that those responsible for this act will be held accountable. There will be a detailed briefing on Operation Sindoor later today. So that's the statement that's been put out by India. Terrorist infrastructure, not just in POK, but in Pakistan, has also been targeted. India has taken the revenge. Operation Sindoor has been carried out by the Indian military in POK and Pakistan. Terror infrastructure has been demolished. India has served its revenge after the Pahalgam terror attack. terrorist infrastructures has been demolished across the LOC in POK and Pakistan. On the screen, you can see Rajnath Singh, Defense Minister's tweet, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. So, a big statement, big development that has taken place. India has hit back, India has demolished terrorist infrastructure at inside POK and Pakistan. Those terror camps, those terrorist bases where from terrorists are sent to India have been targeted and have been demolished. India has made it clear that it has not targeted Pakistan military installations. Now, how is Pakistan going to respond? If Pakistan will respond, of course, India says that it has only demolished and destroyed the the terrorist hideouts. There have been no military targets taken. But how is Pakistan going to respond? That's the big question. That's the big question. How is Pakistan going to respond? Uh, 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 Pakistan has, of course, been uh, in a state of, you know, in a state of preparation, but also at the same time frustrated over the last few days. We've been seeing we've been seeing uh, Pakistan statements coming from Pakistan, which have been very strange sort of statements where they have issued nuclear threats. They have issued nuclear threats. They have now these are missile strikes that have been carried out. Now we have to see there's a DGISPR statement also. Now we'll have to read that. DGISPR is the Pakistani military uh, wing that's carried out that has given out a statement. Missile strikes in Bahawalpur, Kotli, Muzaffarabad by India. Now that is the DGISPR statement. So it was very important that Pakistani military has confirmed that these strikes have been carried out, missile strikes in Bahawalpur, Kotli, and Muzaffarabad by India. So India has carried out strikes, missile strikes across the line of control in POK. Uh, Across the line of control in POK, uh, we are also told that Ajit Doval, the NSA, is speaking to the American NSA. Now, also this there is a statement. Uh, Pakistani military has confirmed that missile strikes have been carried out by Pakistan. Now, Shehbaz Sharif has tweeted in Urdu. It has said that uh, India has carried out strikes on 5 Pakistani targets. पाकिस्तान मक्कार दुश्मन ने पाकिस्तान के 5 मकामात पर बुजदिलाना हमला किया है। पाकिस्तान भारत की मुसल्लत करदा इस जंगी अमल का भरपूर जवाब देने का पूरा हक रखता है और भरपूर जवाब दिया जा रहा है। पूरी कौम अफवाज पाकिस्तान के साथ है और पूरी पाकिस्तानी कौम का मुआदलाल और जज्बा बुलंद है। पाकिस्तानी कौम और अफवाज पाकिस्तान दुश्मन के निपटना बखूबी जानते हैं, दुश्मन को अपने मजमूम मकासद में कभी काम। सो इन फैक्ट दिस इज द स्टेटमेंट बाय पाकिस्तान प्राइम मिनिस्टर which confirms that 5 places have been struck by India. Now India has said that 9 targets have been taken, but Shehbaz Sharif saying that 5 places have been struck by India, and Pakistan has every right to respond forcibly to this act of war imposed by India, and a forceful response is being given. It says is being given. The response of Pakistan has already started. The entire nation stands with the Pakistani armed forces, and the morale and spirit of the entire Pakistani nation are high. Here again, you can see on that strike that missile strikes in Bahawalpur, Kotli, Muzaffarabad by India. Now, these are important details uh, we'll also try and connect with a guest, and we'll try and reflect more on this breaking story. Uh, so meanwhile, there is artillery firing that is going on in the Poonch sector. The artillery firing that's going on. If uh, we also joined by Major Ali at this stage. Major Ali, can you hear me?
Yes, 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 Zafar bhai. How are
Uh,
you?
I'm good. Majorly, this is a big breaking story. India has struck at terror infrastructure across the LOC in uh, POK and also Pakistan. Now, India says that 9 different locations were picked up and they were hit by India. Now, of course, we believe that it's missile strikes that have been carried out by India inside POK and Pakistan. Now, Pakistani Prime Minister has uh, confirmed. Uh, uh, Pakistani Prime Minister has confirmed that 5 places have been targeted. What is your initial reaction? Okay, he seems to be on the phone right now. These are the latest visuals from the line of control where you can see firing is going on. In fact, Pakistan is using artillery in places like Poonch. Uh, in places like Poonch, there is firing that is going on. You can hear those noise, those sounds. Majorly, if you can listen to me, what is your initial reaction to what's happening today? India has carried out surgical strikes at 9 places in Pakistan, which is not just POK but mainland Pakistan also. 9 targets have been picked up by India, and Pakistan has confirmed, and they're saying very clearly that India has hit them, and they are hitting back. They have made it very clear that they will hit back. How do you see this reaction, this developments that are taking place?
Zafar bhai, you remember a couple of days back, you, Barkha and I, we were on the show and Barkha was catching a flight to Srinagar that time. And Barkha had said very categorically, she analyzed the situation so well. She said that after the Prime Minister met the service chief, the CDA, the Defense Minister, the NSA, everyone, and there was a meeting was held. And she had no doubt about it that there is going to be military action. When, how, what, which, we don't know, we can't tell, we can't disclose, but there certainly is going to be a military action. I have no doubts about that. And we were all preparing for our mock drill. The at night when we went to sleep, everybody the fear was what will happen now? What will India do? How will it retaliate? Whether there is going to be a military action or not, whether there would be a war or not. But the very fact is, it's very simple and straightforward. We have attacked their terrorist camps. They were expecting us to be doing it in the first 24 hours within the Pelgam attack. We were wise, we were smart. हमने जोश से ही काम नहीं लिया, हमने होश से भी काम लिया. We went slowly and gradually, and of course, the U.S. President Donald Trump, he says it's a shame. We have heard
Yes,
about it.
I want to. Yes, there is a statement. I don't know. My producer has put this up. Whether it is a tweet or it is a statement, I'm not sure. But it has it reads out that it's a shame we just heard about it. And
Tweet, it's
let's
a
just
tweet,
play the soundbite.
right?
For Steve.
No, it's a shame. We just heard about it just as we were walking in the doors of the Oval. Just heard about it. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time. You know, they've been fighting for many, many decades and centuries, actually, if you really think about it. No, I just hope it ends very quickly. Any
Majorly,
questions for Steve?
Right.
majorly it's a very important statement. Now
No, it's a shame.
he
We
says
just
that
heard
it's the
about it
same,
just
but
as
he says in the end of the statement, I hope it ends very quickly. And there are reports that NSA Ajit Doval is also speaking to his counterpart in America. Now we believe there will be a retaliation by Pakistan. So, will America try and ask Pakistan to tone it down? Because if Pakistan has said that, their prime minister has said that they are going to retaliate. Now, if there is a missile strike, then Pakistan may launch counter missile strikes on India, and that will lead to a full blown war. Would sanity prevail now? And we have to see the escalation, the way that this whole conflict escalates, as per the Pakistani response. Now, India has said that it's not targeted Pakistani military bases; it's just targeted the terror infrastructure. So, how do you see Pakistani response now?
Right, Zafar bhai, as Newton's law of motion says that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But here the reaction can be from where? From who? From the terrorists, because we have only identified the terrorist bases, the terrorist camps, and we have struck them hard on the terrorist camps. We didn't really disrupt their civilian infrastructure or in. Of course, I mean their terrorist camps are not just in POJK but inside Pakistan also. So we have only touched the terrorist camp which were planning an action. Now, when Pakistan feels guilty conscious, which firstly goes the point that they hence prove that they accept that they are a terrorist nation, they harbor terrorism, they harbor terrorists inside the soil. And secondly, see, we have given out a statement, we have targeted 9 of 9 targets. Pakistan, Shahbaz Sharif has given out a statement that, okay, India has targeted 5 of our targets. How shameless can you get? What about the rest 4? How shameless can Pakistan get by saying that?
Clearly they have accepted that their targets have been taken in Pakistan. Now, as you were clearly mentioning, the difference is that these are, India says these are terror bases that were targeted. Now, if Pakistan retaliates, what is it going to retaliate on? It may say that it's the Indian military that violated its sovereignty, and it may strike at Indian military installations, and that's going to take this into a full blown war.
Okay, Zafar bhai, a couple of months back, there was an airstrike by Taliban, by Afghanistan on Pakistan, where they targeted only their military bases, only their military establishments. Pakistan did a retaliatory act, but they targeted their civilian bases, the civilians, the innocents. So the very fact that it's but obvious that when Pakistan tries to strike back, they will target the civilians over there. Here in this case, I don't think there's anything to panic because Pakistan के पास इतना पैसा नहीं है कि वो हमारे पे अटैक कर सके. ना ही they have the power or they have the courage or they have the guts. Now there will be forces who would tell Pakistan, listen, अब हिसाब बराबर, don't react. And I don't see, frankly speaking, I don't see Pakistan reacting on this.
Okay, that's very important that you are saying that you don't see Pakistan will, in fact, react. Uh, Although they have been making all those statements that if there is a strike by India, they are going to strike back. So you think that Pakistan may, in fact, actually not uh, strike back, and it will end here only. The score gets balanced, that Pahalgam terror attack and strikes by India, right?
You are 100% right. So, because we have struck the terrorist camps, we have not gone, we didn't target the civil areas or anything. I mean, we would not do that. They've at least have had the thing to admit it that yes, we did. Though they said 5, whatever, they've admitted that we have targeted there. That means अगर वो कह रहे हैं वो तो यानी कि वो एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं कि वो उग्रवादी, आतंकवादी, दहशतगर्दी हैं. So now I don't think they will have the courage to retaliate on us.
I'll have to also, we don't know the casualties in Pakistan, that if these terror bases have been struck, what are the casualties? If how many people have died there? Now, of course, last time when the Balakot strike happened, Pakistan said there was nobody there and nobody was actually killed. But we don't know the casualties there. And of course, that will give some indication about the damage that have happened on the ground. But in the meantime, there is heavy exchange of artillery fire going in J&K at the line of control. Of course, line of control is very big, 700 kilometers. We don't know at which place, but earlier there were reports in the Poonch sector there is artillery exchange going on. We know for the last few days there was a ceasefire violation which was carried out by small arms, but now artillery is being exchanged, and uh, that is being confirmed. So essentially, the ceasefire is over. Now, these are missile strikes by India. It was not a ground invasion. It was not an aerial strike. It was not a strike carried through sea. Do you think that any kind of retaliation from Pakistan could also be a missile uh, driven retaliation? Because they have been making those missile uh, tests over the last few days. Now, these are visuals from Pakistan. We're told that an emergency has been declared in Lahore. So, this is the situation there. If at all Pakistan responds and retaliates, would that be because there's no ground invasion? Last time it was an aerial attack, so they responded aerial. Would that be a sort of a missile that Pakistan can launch? Because now we don't know the casualty figure. We know that different locations in POK and Pakistan both have been targeted. Now, there have been multiple strikes inside Pakistan. It is a very big move that's been carried out by India, and Pakistan has confirmed that there have been strikes that have happened in Pakistan. Now, how do you see the situation developing here on? Does this have the potential to go into an all-out war, uh, and or do you think there will be some sort of a retaliation? Because they will, now that they have confirmed and they are saying that they are retaliating, or it will be a controlled sort of a face saver that Pakistan may want at this time.
Okay, face saver.
Yeah.
Zafar bhai, total face saver. I'll give you example. Uh, Iran did the same thing. Iran did strike back Israel at a time when Israel had struck Iran. Iran said they will retaliate. And they retaliated where? On a place where there were no casualties. कहने के लिए अटैक भी हो गया, फेस सेविंग भी हो गई, सवाल भी जवाब भी उनका, they kept their word and there was no loss, because that could have gone into a full-fledged war with Iran. So they did the same thing with Israel earlier. So Pakistan is going to be doing a face-saving act, if at all they do any act. That is, they don't have the courage to face us. Let's accept it and let's admit it. So our countrymen have nothing to fear, absolutely nothing to fear. So Pakistan,
Right.
if at all,
Right. If we can play those visuals again on the screen, full screen, the visuals of LOC with up sound. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was mute. You can see that artillery exchange at the line of control. Uh, there were small arms that were used over the last few days. There have been ceasefire violations almost on every day, but this time around, now there's artillery exchange that is taking place. Last time, if you remember, majorly when the strike was carried out at Balakot, it was Pakistani ISPR, their military wing, that first broke that news, released those visuals and pictures. Rather than India, it was Pakistan which gave the details and photos. But this time around, that's not the case. Of course, India has made that statement first and given out details. Pakistan has only responded. And India has made it clear that it is not targeted the Pakistani military installation. What we're seeing that Pakistan is saying that it's an attack on Pakistan. We clearly don't have any visuals from Pakistan that these the number of terrorists that have been killed, but what we know is for a fact that it is not just one target like in uh, uh, Balakot, that one target was destroyed. There have been multiple targets. Now you can see on those visuals this seems to be some crowd of people. Okay. Right. Right. These visuals seem to be like from a hospital. These are visuals from Bahawalpur Hospital, which is in Punjab. There seems to be a lot of people there. Perhaps some of the injured have been moved to that hospital, and that's why there are people there. There are ambulances also. We don't know, but these are visuals from the Bahawalpur Hospital that we are showing on the screen.
Right, Zafar bhai. Obviously, I mean, Pakistan, they will be casualties. I mean, 100%. You can see the ambulance over here, and in fact, you see the crowd gathered over here. You can see the ambulance. So, at least Pakistan has accepted and admitted now from the Bhawanpur hospital where there are new visuals that are coming in. So they see whenever there's a strike like this, there is definitely there's going to be a loss because you are spending so much on the attack. I'm not talking in terms of ammunition only. Your preparation, your investment, your you have everything. So even though Mr. Donald Trump has reacted to the attack, so which you played rightly. So even though all that has happened and Pakistan would not have had a face to admit it openly. The very fact is casualties तो बहुत हुई होंगे वहाँ पे. There must be heavy casualties in Pakistan right now
Yeah.
in the terrorist-stricken camp. That's why they're admitting it. Had they not been that major casualties, they probably would have not have owned up, not have admitted, not have said that yes, there has been a strike, an attack on us. Now Pakistan, how much dum hum kitna hai inke paas? How much do the power do they have to get back, to strike back? I don't see them getting back. I don't think they would have the courage to strike back upon us at all.
Right. So, unlike a Balakot, where we didn't see any visuals of any injured or people taken to hospital, this is like it's happened in an urban area, Bahawalpur, and these are urban areas of Pakistan, and nothing can be hidden here. So you can clearly see that there is a lot of rush of people outside the hospital. There are ambulances, and this is the aftermath of India's strike on Pakistan. Now, India has been clearly saying that there are terror launch pads across the POK in Pakistan. India has been saying that. The big question is, Major Ali, whether Pakistan retaliates or not. Do you think that this is enough of a deterrence for Pakistan to carry out any terrorist, uh, attack, terror strike in the future? Because now that India has made it very clear, it is unlike a surgical strike, which was very limited in the Uri sector when that was carried out in 2016, or a Balakot strike that was again very limited at one location, which was picked up. But these are multiple locations that have been targeted inside POK and Pakistan. Do you think that the response that India has shown, the way that India has struck, will stop Pakistan from fomenting terror in the future, irrespective of the retaliation that they may carry out now.
Anyway, I'm afraid to say that Pakistan is incorrigible actually. It is, we have tried everything. It hasn't worked. And अगर यहाँ पर भी नहीं सुधरे तो फिर as Mirza Khalid says तो इनको खुदा समझे. So if they do not understand now, then there is no other way to make them understand. We have tried every means possible. They just don't seem to get it. So
Right.
most certainly, I mean, this is a lesson which we have taught them, and I hope this is deterrent enough. I really hope so, because these people are just incorrigible. They ये सुधरते नहीं हैं. They just don't get it. ये जाफर भाई.
We'll have to see, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But clearly, this is a big move that has been taken by India. Now, this comes just a day before India had announced that there will be mock drills. I don't know what will happen to that now. The mock drills that are going to be held across different districts. This operation happening just before that, Operation Sindoor. We've been seeing these tweets from Rajnath Singh, from Piyush Goyal, Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Operation Sindoor. We've been seeing these tweets. India has completed its operation. Now, we do expect a full briefing in the morning, a detailed briefing. This is basic uh, just the basic details that we are getting, a confirmation that India has struck, which has also been acknowledged by Pakistan. How, what are the terror camps that were targeted, what is the casualties, all of that will be cleared later. Now, Indian Army has tweeted, justice is served, Jai Hind. And also we'll have a sort of a detailed briefing from Pakistan also, their side also. But the fact is that this terror strike took place on April 22 in Pahalgam, and today on May 7, there has been a response by India. What we're seeing essentially is the line of control. First of all, this line of control has uh, sort of become very active. It is not just the small arms, but artillery is also used. Do you see the end of this ceasefire at the line of control now, Major Ali?
Oh, most certainly. Yes, there is going to see. I'll tell you, Jafar bhai, I'll tell you my personal example exactly 22 years back in the year 2003. For 2 years, 2003, 2005, I was in Akhnoor sector and I was just 30 meters away in the forward area, in a gun area, away from the Pakistani post.
Yeah.
And here was our post, here was their post, and it was just eyeball to eyeball distance. Now, they were ceasefire, this is before ceasefire had taken place. Ceasefire happened while I was there in front of my own eyes. So that time, Pakistan used to violate, and they would fire across. That's fine. After the ceasefire agreement, they would still continue to fire across. It didn't really make much of a difference to them. So they didn't, I would say, they never honored that treaty. Even until yesterday, there were unprovoked firing instances reported by Pakistan Army, and I said that is called speculative fire. When you're so scared, तो आप हवा में गोली मार दोगे, because you're expecting the enemy to come. So obviously Pakistan thinks very highly of our army, and which is a fact. We are high and mighty. I would say we are doing very well. They better be scared of us. But मजे की बात क्या है, वो डरते हैं हमारे से, बहुत डरते हैं. But डरने के बाद भी, बावजूद भी, ये पता नहीं what's, they have a mental issue. हवा में, पानी में क्या प्रॉब्लम है? What is the issue? I don't get it. सुधरते नहीं हैं. Despite doing so much of damage to them, despite being self-inflicted with damage, Pakistan never improves. They still, their obsession with Kashmir, I don't know how that's to be curbed. But these people, now will this be deterrent enough? I really hope so. I really hope so. But look at what a shameless nation. We've done in 2016 surgical strike, an airstrike, Balakot in 2019. Iran did an airstrike on them. Taliban did an airstrike on them. We did an airstrike on them again. And if you see the kind of crowd outside the hospital, these are not fake or false images or by created by AI. These are real images. There's so much of crowd at this time in Pakistan. So they definitely have been heavy casualties, heavy damage, and we can see the state of affairs outside the hospital. So despite the casualty, Pakistan should improve. And regarding retaliation is concerned, अगर वो retaliate करते हैं, they would be asking for further trouble. That is for sure, 100% By.
Right. So in the meantime, we are getting fresh visuals from the line of control. If you can play them up with up sound. Right. You saw those visuals. Of course, as we were talking, it is not just the small arms, but artillery exchange that is happening. That is happening uh, at the line of control. Uh, uh, no, we're seeing these majorly in the last few days. Pakistani military has been carrying out many missile tests, surface to surface missile and other missile. The set of missile they call Indus that they were testing, uh, and now that India has struck with missiles across POK and Pakistan. Uh, I don't know how the situation is going to develop here on. Pakistan has accepted that there has been a strike in their place. America has reacted. President Trump has, in fact, said again in his own way that the two countries have been fighting for centuries. Like he said in the last time that they've been fighting for 1,000 years or 1,500 years. So he's again been saying for centuries. Do you think now there will be strong intervention by America and other powers at this point in time when India has struck, telling Pakistan not to raise it further?
Yes, most certainly. There is going to be intervention from America and from other powers to tell Pakistan not to retaliate to what we have done because we have only reacted to what happened to us. तो कहेंगे कि ये लोग हिसाब बराबर हो गया अब आप चुप रहिए अब आप मत करिए पाकिस्तान को पाकिस्तान का दिमाग घुटनों में है दे आर so full of hatred venom and I don't know what to say. I mean, there's so much of hatred inside them. So, yes, if at all they retaliate again on this, do they think in their wildest dreams we will keep quiet? They also know for a fact that we will also strike them and strike them very hard. So, most certainly, there is going to be an intervention from other countries who will tell Pakistan not to go ahead with what they are doing.
Right. And in the meantime, we're getting fresh visuals from Pakistan. There seems to be a lot of chaos on the roads, and there seems to be a lot of rush in the hospital. There have been some casualties. Clearly, we don't know how many people have been killed or injured, but we're seeing a lot of rush and chaos on the roads, and people moved to the hospitals. And this is the situation that an emergency has been declared in Lahore, which is the heart of Pakistan. And you can see from those visuals that there seems to be ambulances, there seems to be a lot of people who are at the hospitals, and of course, they would still be trying to find out the extent of damage. 9 targets have been picked up by India. Pakistan says that 5 locations have been targeted inside Pakistan as well as uh, inside uh, inside POK. Uh, these were missile strikes that were carried out. Uh, uh, right. Uh, we're seeing this for the first time majorly. We've seen surgical strikes, but we never saw actually visuals of casualties, visuals of people at Pakistani hospitals, and that we saw it in the Balakot strike. This is for the first time that we are actually seeing uh, these. Now, this seems to be from the line of control from our side. Uh, there seems to be some infrastructure, some house that has received a shell. It is hit with a shell. Now we were at the line of control a few days ago, and there were community bunkers that were prepared there for people to take shelter. I'm sure people must be moving to safer places at the line of control, because if artillery is now being used by Pakistan, so things seem to be escalating at the line of control. But this is what we're getting. These are the details. Of course, we'll have to we'll have to again uh, uh, if you can have more of those visuals with up sound. In the meantime, I'll read out the statement by India. Operation Sindoor. Indian armed forces carried out precision strike at terrorist camps. A little while ago, the Indian armed forces launched Operation Sindoor, hitting terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, from where terrorist attacks against India have been planned and directed. Altogether, 9 sites have been targeted. Our actions have been focused, measured, and non-escalatory in nature. No Pakistan military facilities have been targeted. India has demonstrated considerable restraint in selection of targets and method of execution. These steps come in the wake of the barbaric Pahalgam terrorist attack, in which 25 Indians and one Nepali citizen were murdered. We are living up to the commitment that those responsible for the attack will be held accountable. There will be detailed briefing on Operation Sindhu later today. Now, that is the statement, a very brief, a very clear statement by India without much details. Of course, the details will get later. Uh, what exactly, where are those terror camps, these locations? What we know, that India has been saying that this terror strike was carried out by the LET, by Lashkar. So obviously these terrorist camps will be belonging to Lashkar only, and that is why we're seeing strikes taking place in Bahawalpur, which is Punjab, Pakistani Punjab, which is where Lashkar is mostly based, and where Lashkar is mostly based. And then, of course, uh, we'll have uh, more details. Uh, in the meantime, Pakistan has responded. Pakistani Prime Minister has said that Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has said that 5 locations have been uh, targeted. So this is the situation on the ground, that India has carried out surgical strikes, and again uh, we are playing uh, those tweets by Rajnath Singh and by Piyush Goyal, where they are saying that, of course, uh, that those strikes have been carried out. So we'll want to wrap it up for now. This was a breaking news update, that what has happened in Pakistan. India has taken the revenge. Now, Pahalgam terror attack happened on April 22. 26 people, including one local Kashmiri man, were killed in that terror attack in Pahalgam, and India vowed to strike at the terror launch pads. Prime Minister, in fact, said, "Kalpana se bhi बढ़ के एक जवाब दिया जाएगा." And that is precisely what's happened. Days later, India has struck across the LOC in POK and in Pakistan. 9 terrorist camps have been struck with missiles, and that terror infrastructure is demolished. There is a state of chaos in Pakistan. This operation has been called as Operation Sindoor. We'll get more details of this. There will be a proper briefing in the morning, and there will be clarity. What we can say is that there is a lot of chaos on the streets of Pakistan. People move to hospitals as uh, there is there are casualties that have taken place, and Pakistan has admitted that that those strikes were carried out. And this is the situation right now. It's a developing story. We don't know how it's going to develop further. America has reacted. President Trump has given out a statement. We'll have to wait and watch for more details. But thanks so much, Major Ali, for joining us at this hour and sharing your thoughts on this big breaking story. Of course, we'll keep a track of it. But for now, thanks so much for joining us and for watching the Mojo Story.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.